Millionaire's twins drove every nanny away, but the maid did what no one expected. The twins were already famous in the city long before they turned 8, not for their smiles or talents, but for the trail of broken patients they left behind. Nannies arrived with impressive resumes and left within weeks, some within days, their faces pale, their confidence shattered. The mansion on the hill, owned by a widowed millionaire who had everything except peace, echoed with slammed doors, shattered vases, and a silence that felt heavier than noise. People whispered that the children were cursed by wealth and loneliness, that no one could ever reach them. On the morning the last nanny quit without saying goodbye, even the birds seemed to avoid the estate. If you believe that kindness and second chances can still change lives, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this remind us why humanity still matters. The millionaire father had once been a warm man, known for his generosity and vision, but grief had carved deep lines into his soul. After his wife's sudden death, his world narrowed to boardrooms and balance sheets, while his twins were left to grow up surrounded by marble floors and strangers. They were not born cruel, they were made invisible by absence. Each nanny tried discipline, routines, rewards, and punishments, but none stayed long enough to understand the quiet pain behind the chaos. The twins sensed abandonment before it happened, and they learned to push people away first, testing every adult until they proved they would leave like everyone else. Then there was the maid, a woman no one noticed at first. She arrived quietly, hired through an agency that barely remembered her name. She wore plain clothes, kept her eyes lowered, and moved through the mansion as if she were part of the walls. Her life had already been shaped by loss, by years of cleaning other people's homes while carrying grief of her own. She had buried a child once, long ago, and learned that anger in children often masked unbearable sadness. Where others saw monsters, she saw wounded hearts acting out because no one had stayed long enough to listen. At first, the twins treated her no differently. They spilled food on purpose, hid her cleaning supplies, and laughed when she slipped on a wet floor. They waited for her to explode, to scold, to run away like the rest. But she did none of those things. She cleaned quietly, her hands steady, her face calm. When they broke something, she did not rush to report it. When they screamed, she did not raise her voice. This unsettled them more than punishment ever could. Chaos had always been their language, and suddenly someone refused to speak it back. Days turned into weeks, and something strange began to happen. The twins noticed she arrived every morning at the same time and left every evening without drama. She remembered which cereal bowl belonged to which child. She fixed a torn stuffed animal instead of throwing it away. She left small, thoughtful gestures behind, an extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of a bed, a favorite snack placed silently on the table after a difficult day. She never demanded affection, never tried to replace their mother, never asked them to behave for her sake. She simply stayed. The millionaire barely noticed at first. His life was measured in meetings and profits, not in emotional shifts inside his home. But one evening, he paused in the hallway when he realized the house felt different. There was no shouting, no crashing sounds. The silence was softer, almost peaceful. From the staircase, he saw the twins sitting quietly, not glued to screens, not plotting mischief, but drawing at the table while the maid cleaned nearby. It was an ordinary scene, yet it felt miraculous. The real turning point came on a stormy afternoon when thunder rattled the windows and power briefly went out. In the past, storms had triggered complete meltdowns, fear masked by destruction. This time, when the lights flickered, the twins froze, their bravado collapsing into raw terror. Instead of running, the maid sat on the floor near them, grounding herself in the moment. She did not lecture or distract. She simply stayed present, letting them feel the fear without shame. The storm passed, and with it, something inside the children shifted. For the first time, they experienced an adult who did not disappear when things became difficult. Slowly, their cruelty faded. Not all at once, not magically, but in small, fragile steps. They began to test her differently, not to push her away, but to see if she would still be there tomorrow. And she was. Every single day. Trust, once broken repeatedly, takes time to rebuild. The maid understood this and never rushed them. She knew healing was not loud. It was quiet, patient, and often invisible. The millionaire finally asked about the change, expecting to hear about new techniques or strategies. What he saw instead unsettled him deeply. The maid had done nothing impressive by professional standards. She had not enforced strict rules or psychological frameworks. She had simply treated the twins like human beings who were hurting. In that realization, the father felt a sharp wave of guilt. He had been so busy providing everything that money could buy that he had forgotten the one thing his children needed most, someone who would stay. As weeks passed, the twins began waiting for the maid each morning. They started helping her, clumsily at first, eager to be useful. Laughter returned to the house, not the wild, destructive kind, but soft, genuine joy. The mansion no longer felt like a fortress of loneliness. It felt like a home. Just before the ending, we have a special request. Please comment below what part of this story moved you the most or reminded you of someone in your own life. In the end, the maid never asked for recognition. She continued her work quietly, knowing that love did not need applause. But the impact she left was permanent. The twins grew calmer, kinder, and more open, and their father learned a lesson that no business success had ever taught him: presence matters more than perfection. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that patience and kindness can change even the hardest hearts, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps stories like this reach the people who need them most, and together, we keep kindness alive.